This meeting of the Executive Committee of the CUNY Board of Trustees. I'd like to request that everyone mute their cell phones or Blackberries. Thank you. CUNY TV is transmitting the public session of this afternoon's meeting of the Executive Committee live on cable channel 75. The meeting is also being webcast live at www.cuny.edu/livestream, providing service worldwide. The public session of this meeting will be available as a podcast within 24 hours and can be accessed via the CUNY website. I would like to express my appreciation to my fellow trustees for attending this special meeting. Thank you all for being here. I would like to move the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York approves the allocation of $20 million in CUNY investment and performance funds according to the recommendations of Chancellor Milliken, which are based upon the methodology described in the board resolution of October 1, 2015. The Chancellor recommends that a total of $13.6 million be awarded to fund 28 proposals submitted by CUNY's senior colleges and graduate and professional schools, and $6.4 million be awarded to fund 15 proposals submitted by CUNY's community colleges. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Chancellor, would you like to explain?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, this is the culmination of a process that began with an appropriation of $12 million in the state budget for the senior and professional schools for a performance funding program. This board allocated $6 million available for community colleges as well, so they could participate in the process, and an additional $2 million that was CUNY funds as well as private funds to supplement the overall fund. Vice Chancellors Sapienza and Rabinowitz led a process, university-wide process, to elicit proposals from each college. I'm impressed by, first, the speed with which they did this, but second, the thoroughness. I think they established a very good set of guidelines based on the state's interests and the university's priorities, which are, as far as I can tell, entirely aligned here, and then worked with the colleges and received I think an impressive number of proposals, and conducted a review process with their staffs, looking at 10 different criteria to judge proposals, and I think came up with a very good recommendation, which I've reviewed with them and reviewed with the presidents earlier today. So what I'd like to do is turn this over to Provost Rabinowitz and Vice Chancellor Sapienza to discuss with the committee the process and the decision-making and the ultimate recommendation which you have in front of you.
Very good.
Thank you, Chancellor. Board members, I want to thank you, and Chairman Schmidt, I would like to give a special thanks to you for giving us the opportunity to move on this item in the Executive Committee session, given how important it is that we get the funds to our colleges as soon as possible. We very much appreciate this opportunity. As Chancellor Milliken said, the responses of our colleges to this opportunity has been astounding. It was on October 1st that the board passed the resolution approving our allocation of funds. 16 days later, we had received in my office 46 proposals from senior colleges. two of which were so complex, we actually broke them into two more, making it 48 proposals. From our community colleges, we received 19 proposals. An additional 15 were submitted in response to the request for proposals under the J.P. Morgan Chase Tech Initiative. In other words, our colleges responded effectively with strong proposals. Every proposal was rated by 2 independent raters from the Office of Academic Affairs, working closely with members of the Office of Budget and Finance. Every proposal was rated on 10 dimensions, as the Chancellor said, and these dimensions were weighted so that the very most important one was alignment with the state's and the university's priorities. But we also counted feasibility and practicality, budget and financial sustainability, and evaluation and metrics very strongly in our consideration. There was high inter-rater reliability. That is, our independent raters saw the proposals basically the same way. And all proposals above a certain, that had achieved a certain minimum, were recommended for funding. The recommendations of the teams were then discussed with Matt and with me, and then later with us and with Chancellor Milliken himself. I'm delighted to report that based on the merits, every college or unit will be getting an award, a substantial award. It is true, trustees, that the awards are not all the same. Some colleges will be receiving more than others. Indeed, some colleges asked for much more money than others. Almost all of the proposals address more than one priority area. You know what the priorities of the state were: access, degree completion, student success, research, and community engagement. Our university is very interested in this time in also addressing matters having to do with workforce development, global learning and perspectives, and online learning. I'm pleased to tell you that that the recommended proposals mostly meet more than one priority area, and we received most proposals in the areas of student success, degree completion and academic momentum, and online learning. And one of the items in your packet speaks to the priority areas. So you see the colleges and you see the amounts, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you have about proposals or our methodology. I will end with just one word about the tech industry grants. This particular, we had a separate competition, sent out a separate RFP for the J.P. Morgan Chase Foundation grant. We were thrilled that University Dean Sori Deitch wanted her grant to be part of CUNY's Performance and Investment Fund. This, such is the interest in working with tech industries, that this RFP garnered 15 proposals from 8 senior colleges and 5 community colleges. While 2 winners were selected, 1 senior college and 1 community college, Dean Deutsch said that all the proposals submitted were so strong that she's inviting all the colleges that entered the competition to join her CUNY Tech Consortium. And she will use limited additional funds to seed projects by the other colleges, and she will work toward identifying other sources of public and private funds to support that form of workforce development that's so important to us and to the city. I would be pleased to invite Matt to say a few words or to answer any questions that you have.
Matt, anything to add?
Thank you. The only thing I'll add is just a reminder of the total amount of funding that was established for this initiative, $12 million was appropriated by the state in the last state enacted budget for the senior colleges. We identified $6 million for the community colleges. That was part of the community college allocation. And then $1 million from the grant that Vita mentioned, and $1 million that the university identified that was available for both senior and community colleges. So a total of $20 million was available. And I just want to reiterate what Vita said. I thought the colleges did a terrific job in getting very thoughtful and comprehensive proposals together in such a short time. And our review committees did a terrific job in turning it around so quickly, and again, giving a very thoughtful and comprehensive analysis of the awards.
Anything to add, Chancellor?
Just two quick points. One, to echo what the Provost said about how welcome it was that you all provided the opportunity to do this expeditiously, because that's what matters the most to the campuses that have made proposals, that they be able to use the funding and make a difference this year. The second thing is that we have been in communication with the state throughout this process, consulting on our process that you approved and the timetable for this. So we want to keep them apprised of it.
All right. Are there questions? Yes, Valerie?
Is there any shared learning? I mean, if I'm doing online at one college, are we duplicating that same learning from another college, or is there some attempt to scaffold that learning?
Great question, I think.
It is, Trustee Bell, and I'm delighted to tell you that we want to make a lot of hay with this process. One of them will be forming that CUNY Tech Consortium, but another will be this. Most of our proposals are really aimed at 4 or 5 key initiatives. We do want to get groups together to share best practices, learn from each other, and talk more with each other. I know that when we began this competition, we were hoping that more colleges would plan to collaborate from the start. The truth is, we didn't get a lot of collaborative proposals. There wasn't enough time. But we hope to encourage collaboration going forward. And we'll make that explicit. And we're asking for more performance funding from the state in our budget request. So this is not a one-shot. We want this to be, an initiative that has, that endures and that develops over time. So, to your point, will we be trying to capture what we've learned and disseminate it? Yes, and thank you for the.
So just to add to that, my experience has been with building online learning operations, that it starts out as kind of a cottage industry. It takes individual faculty who are interested and engaged with developing new courses and using new methodologies. Here, we have a great opportunity because we have either 6 or 8 proposals that are online. We're going to
Yes,
bring
we
that
do.
group together as a working group of those colleges. And this will now be the nucleus, I think, of CUNY's sort of next generation of developing online courses, sharing best practices, as the provost said, and expertise together. But we had a budget request last year for funding to help jumpstart this with new program development in online learning. This really is going to provide the opportunity for that, I think.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are there other questions or comments from the trustees? I take it all the proposals that were approved have sustainability built into the
Absolutely.
colleges are prepared to fund it after
Yes.
if there's no more performance funding.
Yes.
So these will be, assuming that they prove
Yes.
their worth, these are things that will be sustained.
Chairman Schmidt, that was one of the double-weighted, again, the most important criterion was alignment with the state's priorities, but in that very second group was ability and willingness to sustain the initiative, even if there is no more performance funding coming.
Other questions or comments? Yes.
Just to reiterate what I think Valerie was saying, and what you commented about, Provost, particularly in the area of student success.
Yes.
if we can over this next year, come up with best practices,
Yes.
we ought to very much focus on that,
You bet.
because that is a number one priority, I believe, for the governor and for us. We should pursue it. And I
Yes.
suspect in all these various proposals, there will be some overlap, and there will be the ability to formulate a best practice, which could become the CUNY practice.
You're absolutely right, and as you say, what goal could be more important than that one? So we will indeed capture that. Thank you.
So I look at this, trustee Schwartz, as sort of the analogy of the laboratory democracy, that this gives us a chance in areas where we want to encourage innovation and new things to seed investments in half a dozen different places. And we'll have a chance to see which ones make the most difference. That's not something we get a chance to do every day.
That's right.
Thank you.
Terry?
Obviously, everyone who put a proposal in did not get funded. Is there any plan to at least let the people know where their proposal fell down so
That's a
that
great,
they
that's a
don't make the
great,
same mistake twice?
Professor Bartel. Yes, we will, if the board approves the chancellor's recommendations, we intend to get the word out to the winners tomorrow so they can begin planning launching. But you raise a very good point. What is our plan for those whose proposals were not funded? I do believe they deserve some detailed feedback about what they might have done better. Indeed, we hope to have a new performance funding initiative launching within the next several months. So in order for them to be competitive, we will provide written feedback and maybe even meetings with those who are follow-up meetings. I think that would only be right. There are good ideas among the proposals that weren't funded. We should try to capture them and move the colleges forward. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the trustees? Valerie?
I'd love to see the BMCC finish line tuition waiver program and how it is sustainable. So, just curious.
They've been doing it on their own.
That's right. The truth is, it's
BMCC
an excellent question, but the answer is an easy one. Go.
BMCC had initiated a similar type of initiative this past summer. And they found that it was really successful in terms of retention, in terms of credit accumulation for the students. And so they had some experience with it from this past summer and wanted to replicate it and enhance it.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments from the trustees? Are you ready for the question?
Question?
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Abstentions? The resolution is unanimously adopted. Thank you. Thank you very much. I neglected to ask at the beginning of the meeting for your approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 26, 2015, which is attached on the table there. May I have a second?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions about the minutes? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? The minutes are adopted. Next, we have an item for the, involving the Queensborough Community College outdoor athletic track replacement. May I call on trustee Frida Foster?
Sure. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York authorize the General Counsel to execute contracts on behalf of Queensborough Community College to purchase and install a replacement outdoor athletic track. The contract shall be awarded to the lowest responsive and responsible bidders after public advertisement and sealed bidding by the college pursuant to law and university regulations. Such purchase shall not exceed a total estimated cost of $650,000 during the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2016. The contracts shall be subject to approval as to form by the University Office of General Counsel. The explanation is that Queensborough Community College will replace its outdoor athletic track. After several decades of use by the college and the community, the new athletic track will be made of durable, state-of-the-art materials that is expected to provide at least 12 years of safe, low use, and that can then be resurfaced to extend its useful life for another 10 years.
I'll second that motion. Are there any questions about the Queensborough replacement track? All right, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, abstentions? The resolution is adopted. Thank you very much. I'm now adjourning the public session of this executive committee, and we will have a brief executive session to get an update from the Chancellor on collective bargaining. The executive committee will not reconvene in public session after we have our executive session. So we'll turn off the TV and
See you later.
I like, Mr.
So
Chairman, I
moved.
so move.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? We will move into executive session.
No.